The next day, Benedict quit his studies and packed his bags to leave the city. He took his old nurse with him and headed for the mountains. According to Pope Gregory's account, giving over his books and forsaking his father's house and wealth,
Where are we going, Master?
I don't know. All I know is that I have to get away from the city.
rejecting all the corrupt and depraved environment of the city, Benedict went to Afil, a small village near the mountains east of Rome. Benedict reached the Church of Saint Peter, and he then explained the reasons for leaving the city to the priests there.
And that's why I left the city. I could not live there any longer.
We understand your concerns. You are welcome to stay here as long as you like.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Benedict then lived in the company of virtuous men who were sympathetic to his feelings. One day, he was, as usual, speaking to the monks.
He who labors as he prays lifts his heart to God with his hands. Huh? What happened?
I'm sorry, Master. I just broke the wheat sifter.
Oh, don't worry. It's all right.
Benedict worked his first miracle that day. He magically restored the broken wheat sifter by just waving his hands.
It's a miracle.
Master, how did you do that?
Yes. That man must be a divine person.
The news of the miracle spread fast, and soon many people came to see Benedict. This made Benedict even more frustrated, so he left the church and decided to live on the slopes of a mountain away from everyone. Benedict then lived the life of a hermit, praying to God most of the time. One day, when he came to the river nearby, some shepherds caught sight of him.
Hey, look.
Huh? What is it?
Look near that river. Can you see anything?
Huh? Is that an animal?
I think so. Come, let's go and take a closer look.
Let's go.
The shepherds mistook Benedict for an animal, as he was all dressed up in animal skins.
What? It's a man.
Huh?
Hey, you.
Huh?
Who are you? And what are you doing in the mountains?
Hello, my name is Benedict.
Benedict then explained why he was living in the mountains to them. When the shepherds realized that he was a servant of God, they started respecting him. They visited him often, bringing their friends and family along to hear him speak. All of them were quite moved with the words of Benedict, and many of them converted to Christianity. One day, it so happened that a priest was preparing his dinner on an Easter Sunday when he suddenly heard a divine voice.
You are preparing yourself a banquet, while my servant Benedict at Sublacum is dressed with hunger.
Huh? Was that a vision?
The kind priest immediately set off searching for Benedict.
Hello? Is anyone here?
The priest searched for Benedict everywhere. He searched near the river, in the nearby villages. And finally, the priest found Benedict outside his cave. Benedict was surprised to see a man come searching for him. Before they entered a conversation, Benedict requested him to join him in his prayer. And after praying together, they chatted for some time, and Benedict ate the food that the priest brought for him. From that day, many others climbed their way up the steep cliff. They carried small offerings of food with them when they came to visit Benedict. Saint Benedict had to struggle with temptations of the flesh and the devil. One of these struggles is described by Saint Gregory. On a certain day when he was alone, the tempter presented himself. A small dark bird, commonly called a blackbird, began to fly around his face and came so near to him that if he had wished, he could have seized it with his hand. Benedict realized that this was the devil in disguised form. But on making the sign of the cross, the bird flew away. Then followed a violent temptation of the flesh, such as he had never before experienced. The evil spirit brought before his imagination a woman whom he had formerly seen, and inflamed his heart with such vehement desire at the memory of her that he had very great difficulty in repressing it. The memory was so strong that he even thought of leaving the solitude. Suddenly, with the help of divine grace, he found the strength he needed. When he looked around, he saw a thick growth of briars and nettles. He stripped off his habit and jumped himself into the midst of them. He plunged and tossed around the thorns, badly tearing his skin. His whole body was wounded, and blood was dripping all over. Through those bodily wounds, he cured the wounds of his soul. Benedict had won over the temptations, and never again was he disturbed by the devil. Benedict matured both in mind and character by living the life of a hermit. His life of discipline and solitude also won him respect among the local Christians. One day, a few monks from the nearby monastery came to visit him. The abbot of the monastery had died recently, and they were here to invite him to be their new abbot.
Good morning, Master.
Good morning, son. Why are you here?
Master, you must have heard about the death of our abbot Vicovaro.
Yes, I did. He was such a good man.
Master, we came here to ask if you would be willing to become our new abbot.
Yes, Master. It would be our pleasure to serve under you.
But Benedict knew too well about the lack of discipline in the monastery.
No, I can't do that.
But Master, we could learn from you so much.
Look, my son, I'm happy that you considered me. But I just can't accept the post. My way of life and yours is completely different. There is no way that we can get along together.
Master, you don't have to worry about that. We are willing to change our ways if you become our abbot.
And after a lot of compulsion, Benedict finally agreed to accept the post. Benedict took charge as the abbot of the monastery and started imposing his strict discipline on the monks.
Brothers, let us fast today. Let us not eat anything. Come with me to the prayer hall.
How dare he!
The monks soon got frustrated with the new rules of the monastery.
I knew this was a bad idea from the beginning.
Why did we have to bring that savage to the monastery? We had such a good life here. And now,
What does he think of himself? We must get rid of him quickly. Hey, I have an idea.
What is it?
The monks got tired of the strict rules of Benedict, so they decided to poison him.
Please drink this, Master.
Thank you, brother.
Benedict didn't realize that his drink was poisoned, so he took the glass and, as usual, closed his eyes for praying.
What?
Huh? It was poisoned, wasn't it?
We are sorry, Master.
Why did you have to plot this wicked thing against me? Didn't I tell you before that my ways are not the same as yours? Now go and find another abbot. After what you have done, I can no longer stay here.
Benedict then returned to his cave and started living again in solitude. However, many people attracted by Benedict's sanctity and character came to Subiaco to seek his guidance and learn the true way of monastic life. Over the years, he started 12 monasteries in the valley. He appointed different superiors for each of his monasteries. He also constructed many schools for children. When Benedict started the 13th monastery, he started living there and took charge as the abbot of all 13 monasteries. Benedict's fame spread rapidly. People came all the way down from Rome to visit him. It was during this time that he was entrusted with the responsibility of taking care of Maurice and Placidus, who later on became the two gems of Benedictine family. Once it so happened that there was a severe scarcity of water in the valley. The monks who lived in the monastery had no water to drink and do their chores. Benedict went searching for water, as he knew that God will always provide.
Now climb that rock and you will find water on the other side.
Huh? Are you sure, Master?
Do you doubt me?
I'm sorry. I will go and see, Master.
Maurice, look!
Huh? It's a miracle!
It's a miracle! We have found water!
Benedict performed many other miracles during his time. One day, Placidus, who had gone near the lake, fell into the water and started drowning.
Ah! Help! Somebody help!
Benedict, who was sleeping in his cell, was able to sense the danger. He ran to meet Maurice and asked him to go and help Placidus.
But Master, even if it's true, how will I save him? I don't know how to swim.
Don't worry about that. You will be able to walk on water. Now hurry. Go now.
I'm going, Master. I'm able to walk on water.
It was another miracle. Maurice walked on water, and Placidus was saved that day. But not everyone was happy with what was going around. Some monks at the monastery were tired of the strict rules of Benedict, and they tried to poison him again. This time, they poisoned his bread. This time, before he could even bite the bread, a bird flew in and snatched the bread away. Benedict performed many miracles in his lifetime, including raising a boy who was dead. It so happened that there was an accident while they were constructing a wall. A little boy was crushed to death during the accident. But Benedict raised him from the dead, healing his utterly destroyed body. The boy was completely healed, and he started helping at the site immediately. Totila, the king of Goths, had heard of Benedict and wished to meet him. But before seeing him in person, he wanted to test Benedict to see if he really had miraculous powers. One day, he asked his guard to dress in his usual attire and sent him with 3 escorts to visit Benedict. But Benedict was not fooled.
My son, take off what you are wearing. It does not belong to you.
Huh? But how did you know?
The guard was dumbfounded by Benedict's wisdom, and he hurried back to his king to report the news. Totila himself visited Benedict, and he was so inspired that he knelt before him in awe. Benedict warned Totila that he had done much evil and he should change his ways to at least end his life in honor. He foretold that Totila would enter Rome, cross the sea, and would go on to reign for 9 years, after which he will die. It happened exactly as Benedict had foretold. Totila did go to Rome, and then later sailed to Sicily. In 10 years, he lost his crown, and like Benedict predicted, he died. Benedict spent the final years of his life seeking to realize the ideal of monasticism in a communal setting. In order to create unity and formalize the discipline, he drew up his famous rule. According to the tradition, Saint Benedict died on March 21st, 547. He foresaw his coming death, and he informed his close and faraway disciples that his death was near. 6 days before dying, he had the grave which he was supposed to share with his deceased sister, Saint Scholastica, opened. He asked the monks to take him to the oratory, where, after taking his last Holy Communion, he died supported by the monks.